I busted my ass and I was just laid off. These companies do not care about us.
I literally had to watch people walk out of a door today that I have watched their children grow up through pictures and through one-on-one conversations.
So basically, they're going out of their way to say, hey, this isn't a cost-cutting maneuver. It's literally, hey, we're cleaning out the underperformers in the organization. The CEO is even quoted saying, we do not do layoffs to cut costs. And that remains true in this case. But what's super curious about this is, how did they identify the underperformers?
What's up? This is the Midwest Perspective. And layoffs don't seem to be stopping or slowing down, at least in the white-collar space. I'm seeing more and more videos from folks getting laid off. I have personal anecdotes that just keep stacking up of people getting laid off. It seems like there is a seismic shift occurring in corporate America, and I want to talk more about why I think this could be the case. Before we hop into it, as usual, about 2% of you end up subscribing, so if you do like the video, please consider it. Let's hop right in.
Hello, yes, hi TikTok. Came to vent for a second on fucking corporate America. I hate you and everything that you fucking stand for except your benefits and the pay that you sometimes give. But when you fucking wreck people's lives, I hate you for it. I literally had to watch people walk out of a door today that I have watched their children grow up through pictures and through one-on-one conversations. And let's just consolidate all the sites. Let's just get rid of everybody, you fucking clowns. A job is a job, but a career is so much more when you fucking have a family that you make with the people that you work with. Displacements suck. Layoffs suck. We're probably next, but it sucks. Corporate America fucking sucks.
I busted my ass and I was just laid off. These companies do not care about us. They want us to give us a 2-week notice, but yet can just fire us and ruin our lives on the spot any day that they choose. I have a 2-year-old son, no savings, which is my fault, and it doesn't fucking matter. So now I have to go back on the job hunt. And I have to get a work from home job because I have a 2-year-old that I have to take care of. Can't afford daycare. Rent is $2,500 where I live. Now I gotta find out how to pay off my lease early, because there's no way that we could afford to live here. I don't even have a computer. They just locked me out of my computer. You know, I really thought that the culture at my job was great, the best that it's ever been. And for them to just lay me off, not even based off of performance, because my manager just shouted me out today, saying I'm doing a great job, and then fired me.
The one thing I will say is that Gen Z, or the younger generation, seems to understand that at the end of the day, these jobs just equate you to numbers, and that's all that matters. And that's something that you really need to take to heart in a lot of these larger organizations. In that very first clip, we saw what happens when executive leadership decides to, quote, streamline the business, probably save 15% on their bottom line, and then completely destroy their culture by making people wonder if they're going to be next on the chopping block for an arbitrary decision that they have no input or, insight onto why the decision was made. The second clip being a young woman with a kid who now needs to basically figure out what to do, knows that she doesn't have savings, she's acknowledging of that, and is basically completely SOL and needs to start from the beginning all over again. It's really sad that we've gotten to this point in corporate America where it seems to be completely okay to screw over your own team members or your own staff just because you need to make sure you're hitting your quarterly goals without thinking of the realistic impacts that these are going to have on these people. The next clip I wanted to show was really looking at what a layoff looks like from someone who's an outsider and the implications that it can have for much larger public organizations.
Well, another day, another layoff. This time Intuit announces they're laying off 1,800 people, but that's not really the headline with this story. The headline is, and I'll show you at the article here in Fast Company, Intuit to lay off 1,800 employees, labels 1,050 as underperformers. So basically, they're going out of their way to say, hey, this isn't a cost-cutting maneuver. It's literally, hey, we're cleaning out the underperformers in the organization. The CEO is even quoted saying, we do not do layoffs to cut costs. And that remains true in this case. But what's super curious about this is, how did they identify the underperformers? And did they just happen to be in parts of the business that they didn't want to invest in anymore? Were they clear on what the expectations were? What were these underperformers? Because now you falsely, or maybe not falsely, maybe they were underperformers, but you've led anybody that leaves into it at this stage of the game to be labeled as an underperformer. So good luck finding a job if people think that you fell into that bucket, rightfully so or not. So if anybody from Intuit's out there, I'm curious to see how clear these expectations were. What did underperforming mean? Did they have a chance to meet the new standards, or were they standards from the beginning? I don't know. It seems like a big coincidence that all this happened at the same point in time. And Intuit also said that they will be investing those headcount back into different areas of the business with, I think, 1,800 in different areas by 2025. One, do I think they're going to hire all those headcount back? Probably not. But are all those new headcount going to be lower cost? I don't know. It just seems super curious to me. So if anybody's at Intuit or was it Intuit, how clear was all this? And is it true that it was just to clean out the underperformers, or was this a cost-cutting move that they're going out of their way to say this wasn't a cost-cutting move?
Expect to see more of this into the future by a lot of these large public companies who are starting to realize that there are departments who aren't delivering at the level that they expected, or they hired a bunch of people for a trend within their industry and then they realize a new trend is coming, so they need to get rid of this old trend of staff and do it in a way that makes it look like it's not a layoff, and it just turns into a mess like you get with Intuit here, where it's, you know, laying people off who are underperformers. But let's be real here, anyone who's worked in corporate America knows that they're never going to give you the actual reason for why you were laid off. If you were an underperformer, you could quantify it with all of the reviews in the world, but some algorithm made a choice, some HR person gave the list, and some executive leadership signed off on laying all these people off at the end of the day. Like, let's be real here. Like, let's not try and hide the fact that that's exactly what happened here. And if I'm betting, it's because Intuit probably invested in a certain section of the market thinking that it was going to be the new hot thing to drive revenue. They realized that it didn't drive that revenue, and now they want to go chase the next hot thing so that it looks good on the stock report for the next quarter. Gosh, corporate America, isn't it just the best?
Turns out my fears are completely rational. Just got off a call with the company that I was supposed to be starting with on June 3rd, and because their team hasn't been hitting quotas and they want to avoid future layoffs, they've decided to not have any new members join the team. Feels like this is something that could have been figured out before they went through an interview process and hired people to join the team. But yeah, no, I'm back to looking for a job and will not be starting a new one on June 3rd. So if you're hiring for a mid-market software sales role or enterprise sales role, let me know.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hi.
Hello. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into this. Angelica, thanks for meeting us with us today. I do have some difficult news to share with you. So due to recent restructuring within the recruiting department and just kind of an overall decrease in workload, we're making some significant changes to the organizational structure. So unfortunately, that means that your position has been eliminated as part of these changes. Your last day will be today, and you will...
Gen Z boss and a mini! Gen Z boss and a mini! Itty bitty titties and a bob! Itty bitty titties and a bob! 5'3" and an attitude! 5'3" and an attitude! Secret product in a trench! Secret product in a trench! New friend green and a sneaky link! New friend green and a sneaky link! Fake 10 hands in a hoop! Fake 10 hands in a hoop!
Hope you like that last clip. I think it's just a totally accurate example of what we see in a lot of these wonderful HR departments that we have in these large organizations. Obviously, the source video is not related to it, but that's how I think 90% of those working in large organizations see their HR department, because at the end of the day, they don't seem to really care at all. HR, human resources, should just be called corporate resources. They do not care about their staff. They only care about protecting the company. And you know it's bad in any HR org when the head of that person works in legal or anything that is not, you know, actual human capital related. You're going to have to see more people like this get laid off. Imagine getting a job, getting a lease, moving to a new town, and then being told, oh, our team didn't hit goals and we don't want to lay off more people, so that entire job that you spent 5 interviews doing, go pound sand. Or, again, another mother with a kid basically being told, yeah, sorry, not important anymore. Go find another job. You're going to see more and more of this in white collar America, straight up, and it's only going to get worse. I think as the rise of these AI tools come in, all of these companies are just going to completely gut all of your non-high agency, high performing workers, and it's just going to be high performing US workers and overseas talent that can use tools to be basically equal to the middle of the road workers in the future. It's going to be an absolute slaughter in the market, and I don't think a lot of people realize this. If you think this is interesting, please drop a comment. I have a whole kind of thought on that going into the future, but that's where I want to wrap it up today. I'd love to know what y'all think about this. If you want more videos, I've got tons of them linked right above here, talking about inflation, talking about healthcare costs, all sorts of fun stuff. So please take a look. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. You know the usual. I read every single comment and really appreciate you stopping by. Peace.